One chronic condition we treat in our office is when a patient has a trigger point or a knot right in this upper part of the shoulder blade. It's a very common issue with a lot of patients, and it can cause neck pain and upper back pain. This muscle basically attaches to the top of the corner of the shoulder blade, and then goes up to the neck and attaches up here. Then you have the trapezius muscle, which sits over top of this, and it makes it really difficult to treat, to get into that area, and to release a lot of that chronic muscle tension. One treatment we use in our office to release that chronic tension is called shockwave therapy. So what shockwave therapy does is it sends an acoustic sound wave deep into the muscle tissue to release any muscle adhesions and any scar tissue. The nice thing with the shockwave therapy is it can get deeper where our hands or our tools can't get to. So this is often the key to relieving a lot of that tension. A lot of times patients will say they've gone to a massage therapist, they've received other treatment, and they can't get rid of this chronic knot up there, and this is the treatment that will help with that. So what we're going to do is I'm going to demonstrate what shockwave therapy looks like to help break up that trigger point. So with shockwave therapy, what you're going to hear is you're going to hear this piston in here going up and down, and that's going to be hitting the treatment head. And what happens when you apply that to the trigger point, it sends a deep acoustic sound wave into that area to help break up that scar tissue. So you'll hear a tapping sensation. What we'll do is we'll do the treatment, and then I'll ask Renee what it feels like when we go over that trigger point, and then also what it feels like when we get over a normal muscle. So we're going to work all along this scapular border, right up to this spot where a lot of those trigger points sit right up in here. And this is where it gets really difficult to treat because it can't get deep enough to break up any of that scar tissue. Often we treat patients with this, they'll feel an immediate difference in the tension in that area, and it'll be quite a bit of relief on that pressure on that knot right there. Typically it takes anywhere from 5 to 10 treatments depending on how long you've had that trigger point in that area. Now this treatment is also kind of diagnostic in nature in the sense that when we get over a problem area, it'll feel like a deep dull ache when there's a problem spot. When we get over a normal muscle, it'll feel just like a tapping sensation. Now I can feel with her, just by scanning the muscle, that she has tension all through that rhomboid and then also right up here at that trigger point. And you see the area is getting red, and that's good. That means the blood flow is getting to that trigger point and helping to release a lot of that tension. But we basically want to treat this whole area to make sure we get that whole trigger point released, because this all kind of works in unison in terms of how that muscle functions. Typically, the treatment lasts about 5 to 7 minutes, and like I said, we typically treat this 1 to 2 times a week for 5 to 10 visits. A lot of times, I'll also treat up into the cervical muscles here. This is often where the main trigger point is, but you can have tension all the way up into this area. So Renee, how would you describe what that treatment felt like over that trigger point area?
So for me, there were some spots where I just felt a tapping sensation, and then other spots where there was a really deep ache, and it was a little bit uncomfortable moving over that spot, but not extremely painful.
Yeah, like I said, it'll often feel like a deep, dull ache, and you'll feel like you're getting it deep on that spot. And often it'll refer pain right to where you're having the problem spot. So this is a great treatment to help break up that chronic knot in that upper back. So if you have any questions about shockwave therapy, give my office a call at 703-912-7822 or schedule online at novacarwellness.com.